Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're stepping into a deeply personal space. We're looking at a story simply titled Part 03, She Started Taking Everything. We're not just reading words on a page here. We're really stepping into the quiet, often invisible reality of childhood neglect. I want you to imagine looking back on your own youth, recounting memories, not with anger, but with this quiet, lingering sorrow. Let's just walk through this together and see how small, seemingly insignificant moments can completely shape a child's entire worldview.
Unfortunately, the bicycle wasn't the last thing Emma took. Think about what a bicycle represents to a young child. It's independence, right? It's freedom. Losing that to a sibling, to Emma, is absolutely devastating. But the real heartbreak here is in that single word, unfortunately. It signals that this wasn't just some isolated sibling squabble. It was literally the prologue to a lifetime of concessions.
Which brings us to the material losses, and really how this whole pattern begins.
You see, childhood neglect rarely kicks off with massive dramatic events. Instead, it kind of creeps in with the subtle normalization of losing tangible things. Over the years, taking her things just became normal. First, it was the bicycle. Then, Grandma knitted the matching sweaters, but somehow Emma always got to wear the prettier one. Later on, it was something as mundane as school notebooks. Emma just decided she liked those better too. When a sister takes the prettier sweater, or the chosen notebook, she isn't just taking physical objects, she's claiming priority over space, comfort, and choices. And the adults in the room, well, they just let it happen.
And then it escalates from physical items to stolen hobbies, taking the intangible.
If I discovered a new hobby, she suddenly loved it too, only she always received better equipment. I mean, imagine the sting of this. You're a kid just trying to find your own unique spark. You discover something that finally feels like yours, and immediately, it's appropriated. The betrayal isn't really just the copying, though. It's that Emma is given an unfair advantage. The original discovery is completely overshadowed, leaving you standing on the sidelines of your very own passion.
This leads us to the heartbreaking excuses and the really blatant parental double standards. When the author wanted to learn to play the piano, the parents' response was that money was tight. Which is a logical answer, right? A child can accept that. Yet, 6 months later, Emma starts private piano lessons. And the justification? She showed more potential. But let's sink in for a second. The money existed, the resources existed, they just weren't meant for you. Telling one child they don't have enough potential is just a staggering emotional blow.
And it happened again. A modest request to join the school art club was met with, "We can't drive you after school. Just logistics." But somehow, those exact same logistical hurdles just vanished for Emma, who is taken to tennis practice 3 times a week. The message sent to the author was loud and clear. Your interests are a burden. Emma's interests are a priority.
So what does a child do with that? They start asking, is it my fault? They start internalizing the unfairness.
Faced with this totally illogical unfairness, a child's mind just naturally turns inward. At first, I believe there had to be a reason, the author writes. And then the rationalizations begin. Maybe I wasn't talented enough. Maybe I wasn't interesting enough. Maybe I simply wasn't enough. The child actually decides that the lack of love is a direct result of their own inadequacy.
Children don't naturally believe their parents are unfair. They believe they themselves are the problem. This is really the ultimate tragedy of neglect. To believe that the people keeping you alive just don't care about you, that's a terrifying threat for a kid. So the child's brain protects them. It's actually safer to believe I am broken than to believe my parents are unjust. It's just such a devastating truth.
And that brings us to collecting disappointments, the final coping mechanism.
Life goes on, and the child has to adapt somehow. So I stopped asking, she writes. Instead of birthday wishes, I learned not to expect anything. There's this quiet, deeply protective resignation here. If you don't ask for a bicycle, well, it can't be taken from you. If you don't make birthday wishes, you never have to blow out the candles and feel the sting of them not coming true. You just learn to live with a baseline of absolutely nothing.
Instead of dreams, I collected disappointments. It's a truly haunting realization. While other children were out dreaming of who they might become, she was silently cataloging every single time she was let down, storing those moments as proof of her place in the world. It really makes you wonder, how many adults are walking around today, just moving through our lives, who spent their entire childhoods quietly learning not to exist? And what does it take to finally begin to dream again?
You need to pack everything carefully. This is for your new school. She doesn't have to go. We agreed this was best.
Try that passage again, slowly. Use the pedal.
I think I need to rest. I miss you.